Hi, my name is Julie Bullock, and I'm currently the Vice President of Integrated Drug Development at Certara. I'm delighted to be speaking with you today on the value of obtaining external advice and building a support network. During my time at the FDA, there was many moments during IND and meeting package reviews where it was obvious to the team that the sponsor was either lacking in experience or had not obtained external advice prior to engaging with the FDA. Depending on the severity of the gaps, this impacted the overall reputation of the sponsor-FDA relationship and eventually FDA advice long-term. The objectives of my talk today are for you to understand the purpose and limitations of FDA during IND development. I will discuss some development pitfalls and items that can hold up progress. I'll then touch on the value and need for obtaining external advice and how to identify those needs and evaluate external partners. First off, let's quickly go through the FDA Team Organization. Each IND review team consists of the disciplines in the figure on the right. The team is multidisciplinary and they meet together to discuss programs. Therefore, if you are lacking in CMC development, your medical reviewer is aware, and vice versa. FDA reviewers are not committed to your drug only. They all have dynamic workloads and are balancing original IND reviews, meeting packages, protocols, amendments, breakthrough therapy designations, and their NDA and BLA workload. They are busy, and the work never really slows down. The remit of the FDA review team is to review the program you have developed. The review is focused on ensuring patient safety and establishing efficacy. While they may identify program gaps or issues, they will not de-risk your program or develop study solutions to address gaps. Unless there is an overt safety risk to subjects, the FDA cannot stop development or put on hold a drug with poorly established proof of concept or proof of hope. It is your job to build a development program and strategy that will be successful and to ensure your company has appropriate stage gates implemented to make sound go, no-go decisions. During the IND and original IND, the FDA is focused on safety. I've bolded the discipline-specific issues on the left to provide line of sight to the multidisciplinary nature of the review. It is critical for startup companies beginning on the IND journey to ensure that the completed pharmacology studies establish a proof of hope in the disease of interest, and that proof of hope has been associated with a sound first-in-human approach that will collect appropriate data to enable go, no-go decisions at the end of the study. Common reasons for clinical hold are listed in the yellow inset box and range across disciplines. While the FDA will put you on hold for program gaps that put patients at risk, it is not the FDA's remit to de-risk your development plan or put you on hold for wishful hoping. The next talk in this session, given by Christopher Skoll, will go into more detail regarding assembling the best team to avoid some of these pitfalls during pre-IND and IND development. During IND development, it is your remit to ensure that the data collected to date supports your hypothesized proof of hope before deciding to spend additional funds on a compound in later phases of development. The FDA will not make these decisions for you. During IND development, the FDA is still focused on safety, but they also will be ensuring that you are collecting the proper information for them to assess the benefit risk of your drug for an eventual approval in a meaningful indication. In addition, they focus on if the multidisciplinary program will be acceptable for a future NDA or BLA submission. While efficacy is a large component of drug success, it is not the only component, and all disciplines must cross the finish line at the same time. The FDA cannot approve an efficacious drug if it cannot be manufactured. Some common pitfalls during IND development are in the yellow inset box and range from moving a compound along with poorly established proof of concept to poor communication strategies, to lack of data, to ignoring broader development needs. Working with external advisors or consultants can help avoid some of the common pitfalls in drug development for small startups. External advisors have two main functions. They can help you avoid mistakes and confirm certainty, and they can also increase speed and efficiency. KOLs and SMEs can provide you with more up-to-date experience since they often see more programs, read more FDA feedback, and have better line of sight to their discipline's contemporary platforms than those who you may employ on your team who come from industry or biotech. External advisors can provide you with the new perspectives and broader experiences. In addition, by working with someone who is not involved in the day-to-day politics of your organization and has no agenda, the external advisor is an independent voice. They can call things exactly as they see them, usually without fear or favor. They are an unbiased set of eyes who can sanity check and typically can readily spot obvious flaws, risks, or weaknesses in a program. External advisors can also help you use time wisely and allow you to use your team's strengths while you outsource your weaknesses. While yes, you can have Johnny in biostats run your NCA and report your PK data, his time is likely better spent working on the SAP for your phase 2 protocol, and a clinical pharmacologist is more knowledgeable in analyzing and interpreting PK analyses and applying them to your program. So let Johnny do stats and let the clinical pharmacologist do clinical pharmacology. Also, be aware that your employed discipline experts, especially if they are the only expert at the company, may need to lean on external experts to ensure the discipline-specific programs are strong. Most startups begin with a slim set of employed disciplines and often have one person covering multiple areas. If you do have one person covering 3 disciplines, ask yourself if they are doing one thing well and 2 things poorly, or maybe they're doing all 3 things poorly because they have low bandwidth. Find someone to help out with the things they are doing poorly. As mentioned earlier, understand that N of 1 disciplines may need support to bounce off ideas or discuss findings. For example, clinical pharmacology in of itself is a multidisciplinary field. You may have employed a clinical pharmacologist on your team who is strong in modeling, but not in DMPK, and they may need additional DMPK support. Regardless of your team's expertise, all startups should be looking for advice from KOLs and SMEs. These advisors should not be clones of your current team or board. They should not be friends or past coworkers from previous companies. Go out of your way to seek differing opinions and backgrounds to pressure test your proof of hope concept and obtain truthful advice. In this next part of my talk, I will go through some differences between individual consultants and consulting groups. Starting with the individual consultant, they are usually focused on a specific discipline and have a smaller number of clients. The advice you get from them will be based on their past and current experience, which in this graphic are depicted by the backpack and books. They often do not have a team of peers to review their work or deliverables. So if you do not have someone internally at your company with the expertise to pressure test their work, an individual consultant can be risky. Individual consultants also do not have backfill or bandwidth support to lean on. So if they go on vacation or get busy, you may see lags in deliverables and possibly quality. While individual consultants can be cheaper, they do come with limits. Be aware of individual consultants who appear to know it all and can do everything. Humility is a generous component of any good consultant. Often for KOLs and SMEs, an individual consultant is an acceptable path forward, but for discipline-specific support, it can be risky, especially if you do not have deep in-house experience with the discipline, to sanity check their work. Consulting groups usually allow you to leverage one consultant with the background of the larger team. The larger team will come with varied diversity, depth, and breadth of experience, and they can learn from each other's shared experiences. Now, of course, I am biased because I do work for a large consulting group, but as a larger part of a group, I get to see what my consultants see, and I also get to leverage their prior experience in addition to my own. This is why when I left the FDA, I did not embark on being an independent consultant. I knew I would be more valuable to my clients if I was part of a broader team of experts. While consulting groups can be more expensive, the gained ability to have peer reviews, to tap into others' knowledge, to bring in others to get deliverables complete, can all be extremely valuable and an efficient use of funds. Before you can evaluate a consultant, you need to determine what you need and how you want your consultant to support you. This should align with what level of experience you need and if an individual consultant or possibly a larger group may be a better fit for you. When working with consultants, it's always best to treat them as if they are part of the team. Do not withhold information from them, as this could limit their ability to assist you objectively. Allow them to attend multidisciplinary team meetings so they understand the entire program and program issues. As an example, it is not uncommon for CMC problems to affect non-clinical, clinical, and clinical pharmacology. If you do not allow your CMC consultant to work with the broader team, they may miss out on important news that affects their strategies. Speaking from experience, the FDA does not notice if people across the table are employed by your company or not. They do notice if the people at the table are lacking in the experience needed to discuss issues at hand. So do not be afraid to bring your consultants with you to the FDA. One of the best things you can do when engaging with an external advisor is to listen to them. If an external advisor is telling you to do or not do something, seek to understand where they are coming from and what about their background may be leading to such advice before discounting it altogether. Lastly, follow up with your advisors after decisions are made or confirmed. This not only closes the loop on the engagement and makes them feel as if they are part of the team, but it assists with the learn-confirm cycle and helps them understand if the advice and support they are providing is still meeting contemporary standards. Before I wrap up this talk, I'd like to touch a bit on costs of external advisors. I'm acutely aware that spending money on advisors is not a high priority of a startup with a limited budget. However, if you can spend $20,000 to avoid a $1 million mistake, it is in your best interest to spend that $20,000. This slide hits on some tips for setting up work engagements with consultants. First, make sure the support is scoped appropriately. Is the work order describing the activities you asked for, and is the cost commensurate with the value of what they are providing? Make sure there are terms in the work order to protect you from project budget overrun, but also consider including ad hoc flexible aims in case there's a change of scope or extra support is needed. If you are looking for full or part-time or even long-term support, a retainer engagement is often the best structure and usually is provided at a discounted price. For those of you with severe funding limitations, you could consider time or success-based pricing models, which gives external advisors skin in the game and the ability to celebrate success with you. Remember, you can't have things done well, fast, and cheaply. So decide which two of these three things you want. If you want something to be good and fast, it will cost you money. If you want it cheaply and fast, it will more than likely not be good. In summary, thank you for your attention today. I'd like to just reiterate that it's your job as the client to build a development program and a strategy that will be successful and to ensure your company has appropriate stage gates implemented to make sound go, no go decisions. This is not the job of the FDA. External advisors can help ensure you are making the right decisions throughout development. I enjoyed sharing my experience from both inside the agency and on the outside as a consultant, and I look forward to your questions at the panel discussion. Thank you.